You're listening to the Estheticians Earning More podcast with Brittany Hageman, episode 179.
Do you want to make $100,000 revenue in your esthetician business? If so, I would love to show you how. I want to invite you to coach with me in my one-to-one coaching program. It's completely customizable. The way that it works is we sit down and figure out what you've been doing in your business that hasn't been working, and then make a very specific plan that I help you follow over the course of 6 months to get it done. We meet weekly for 30 minutes and discuss exactly what went well that week and we're going to do next week, whether it's your pricing needs to be raised, or you need to have boundaries with your clients, or if you need to learn how to sell skincare, or you need to niche down and you're doing way too many services and not making money, or all of the above. Whatever the issue is, whatever the reason is you're not making money, we'll figure it out together and we will grow your business into a really profitable business that's sustainable, that you love, and that really helps people. I cannot wait to be your coach and to work with you. To learn more, go to the link in the show notes. And with that, on with today's episode.
Happy Monday. Welcome back. I'm so happy to be back this week. I'm sorry I took another week off. It was not intentional. November was just a stressful month for me in general. I was sick. I had family visiting. My husband took time off for our family to visit, and then he worked essentially the rest of the month. He had 4 days off after that. So it was just a very intense month. I had a bunch of new clients start. Anyways, I'm back, and hopefully I won't be taking it many weeks off in the future. Today, we're going to talk about something that I have been talking to my clients about, which is the sales cycle. And what that means is the lead time, or the amount of time it takes from someone getting to know that you exist to booking an appointment with you. And the really tricky thing about this is, depending on what services you do, there's different sales cycles or lead times. So that's what we're going to talk about today, and what to expect depending on what kind of services you do, so you do not just get discouraged. I have seen this consistently happen with estheticians that I work with and I talk with. And that is, if they have built their business on hair removal, sugaring, waxing, whatever, and then they try to incorporate corrective skincare, it tends to be a very big shock to their system, because hair removal, I would also say like lash lift, tints, brow lamination, maybe even lash extensions. I'm trying to think what else. Like relaxing facials, just a relaxing kind of signature, no specialty facial. Those are short sales cycles. Those people are like, I need to get my eyebrows waxed. I'm going to get them waxed today, right? Like, I need a Brazilian tomorrow. Like, I can't wait 3 weeks out. I have had a hard week. I'm gonna schedule myself a nice facial this weekend. I, looking in the mirror and I want a lash lift. It's gonna take 20 minutes, and it's a quick appointment, and it's a quick, easy decision. So if you've built your business on those short cycles, those short lead time where you kind of just get last minute bookings a lot, it's a shock to your system when you are now offering corrective skincare. And this could be acne, this could be like the Skin Pen or ProCell, Hydrofacial, deep peels, anything that is a bigger time and money investment, especially if the way that you market and the way that you present what you do is there's products involved and there's a commitment involved. That is a much longer sales cycle. It could be weeks, months, even a year out of someone learning about you and booking with you. And I see it a lot, is my clients and people I just meet on the internet that are estheticians are used to that short sales cycle, and they're spending time and money investing into building this corrective skincare business. And they're putting time marketing and social media posts, and they're doing all of these things, and they're not getting booked. And they are so frustrated, so discouraged. But the problem is they have not taken into consideration that this is the normal sales cycle. This is how long it takes. Even when I was what I think was well known in the area that I was in San Diego. San Diego is a very big area, and there's multiple like sub communities and lots of people. So I was well known in my area. I don't know if like in other areas people knew about me, but I was well known in my area. And I would get new followers all the time, and people who like generally had acne and were looking for solutions and really wanted help. And I almost never got a follower and they booked. I almost never talked to someone in DMs about what I do and they booked. Like almost never. Even when I was booked and had people that were getting their skin cleared every other day, like I just post after post after post of people's skin being cleared, that like never happened for me. And I knew that instinctively that was how it was going to be. And the reason I knew that's how it was going to be is because I had acne, and I knew how distrusting I was of anyone who offered any acne solution, because I had spent money and then it didn't work. I spent money and then it didn't work. And I spent money and it didn't work. So I really didn't trust anyone ever when they said they had an acne solution. It was always like, yeah, okay, we'll see, you know? So it wasn't surprising to me that people needed time to believe in me and see me and start to trust me. I know I've talked about it on the podcast before. You've probably heard it if you've taken any more marketing education, but the know, like, and trust, they needed time to trust me and get to know me. And I see this all the time. Like, as I meet new estheticians on the internet, I see they want to grow their business, but they aren't being themselves online consistently so that people who are following them know like who they are and starts to build a relationship with them. If you have acne scars and you finally are clear, but the acne scars are still there, you are not just going to book a random ProCell treatment with anyone and just go and spend like hundreds of dollars and be like, okay, we'll see what happens. Like, that is not what's going to happen, right? You are going to be very thoughtful. You want to make sure that person's not going to break you out. They're not going to scar you. They're not going to make it worse. They want to make sure that when they invest their time and their money, they're going to get what they came for. And they aren't going to know that by just looking at your website or your Instagram feed or your TikTok or whatever social media you do. It's not going to be like, oh, look what they do. Great, I'll book. It's like, okay, we'll see. I have to figure it out. They don't trust you yet. And it's nothing to do with you. It's nothing to do with your abilities as an esthetician to help them with their skin. But what happens is you're taking it as they don't trust you. It's not working. Nothing will ever work. But the problem is by you giving up, they will move on because they don't see it anymore and they forget about you. Even if it's something that they really want help with, they will forget. It's how our brains work. Or they will move on to someone else who is louder and more consistent, selling something that probably may not work for them. But they don't know that. And so if you're trying to grow a long sales cycle business and you find yourself getting so discouraged and so frustrated after a few weeks of posting consistently, after a few months of posting consistently, then you really need to think about, okay, I've been posting 4 months consistently, but it's going to take an average of 6 months to a year for someone to come in. So I'm still like 6 months out, a minimum of posting before they're going to come in. If you think about it that way, you are going to post more because you know the more you post, the faster they're going to come in. If you think it like nothing's going to work, I have done all of this work and nothing has happened, that will be the reality because people will move on and forget about you. People, you have to be in their face in a loving and great way. You have to be on their mind. They have to like think about you. And you know that you're thinking in your life about so many things. Even if you want something, you're thinking about this, you're thinking about that, you're thinking about this. Like, even when I was just newly married with my husband, and like I didn't have a lot going on besides my business. My husband was in flight school and I was just working. I thought about my business most of the time. If I wanted to do something for me, it would like come into my brain and then it would go right back out because I'd be focused on my business, right? Now, of course, that I'm a mom and all the things, like nothing ever stays in my brain more than like 7 seconds. So if you want to sell me something, you have to be really persistent because I'm like, oh yeah, oh, it's gone. I'm like distracted with something else. So instead of looking at it as nobody cares, which is probably the way you're looking at it, and it's not working, like those things are not true. It's they need more they need like 100 more reminders. They need 6 months more of reminders. Okay, so that's if you're the long sales cycle. If you're in the short sales cycle, especially if you do hair removal, especially if you do like lash lifts and tints and things like that, where it's a quick, easy win for the client, where they usually want it today or tomorrow. You have to be open consistently, not like just one part of the week. Like I have clients that have had, jobs and they only can be, like one of my clients has a job, is in school, and so only can be open a certain amount of days a week. And that's really hard because I think she's only open beginning of the week. And so like a Thursday, they can't get in and they're not going to wait until Sunday. They want to get in today. So if you are doing the quick like appointments, you need to be open 5 days a week, even if it's less hours. And you need to make sure that you have spots at least every like couple times a week if you want to make more money. You can't make more money and no one can get into your schedule, or if they can't into your schedule 3 weeks out. If I want my eyebrows waxed, I'm not booking 3 weeks out with you. I'm not doing that. I want it done this week. I want it done maybe even today because I am like, oh, I have time today, so I'm going to go today. And so you have to think about how the person who wants your service is thinking. What are they thinking about? Are they thinking that they want it done right now? Are they not sure? Are they scared? Are they nervous? Are they like, what's the motivation? What's going on with them? Because I guarantee you're probably losing a lot of business if you're booked out until the end of December. So unless you're actually truly booked out, then you can't fit more people in. So you have to figure out how to make more money in a different way. That also could be the case. So you're like, I'm not making any money in my business, but you're booked out to the end of December or early next year. So we have to figure that out. But if you have like a job, another job, or you have limits on your schedule that are kind of out of your control, I want you to think about how you can make it easier for people to get in quicker with you if you're doing the short sales cycle services. Because if you're doing things like that, people will just look and look and look until they get an appointment, and then that's it. So I have clients like this. I don't recommend blocking off your time if you're not booked. And it really can suck to go in and do a eyebrow wax. I get it. But at a certain point, you have to decide, are you going to be open to let people book? And then that time is your work time, where you may have an eyebrow wax now and a Brazilian in 2 hours. So you are going to stay at your place of work and do all the marketing things that you can do in between those appointments and work on your business. That's your business hours. Even if one person booked in the whole day and you're like, I would rather just block that day off and move that person to this other day, that strategy is more effective if you're doing skincare and corrective skincare, for sure. Because usually those appointments are flexible. That person this week is fine. Like I can do it multiple times this week versus a hair removal, lash lift. They want it today. They don't want it Friday. Like if today's Monday, they don't want it Friday. They want it today. And so if you are available to work, but you're not open to book, that's not going to work. You're going to lose a lot of money, especially if all the other things are going well. Like let's say you're marketing consistently and people know about you and you know, there's evidence that you're good and well received by your clients. You need to be able to they have to get you in soon. People need to be able to get in quickly if you have a short sales cycle service and you want more money. If you don't want more money, it's fine. Like they can't book till like 2 weeks out. No big deal. Like if you're busy and that you don't want more waxing clients, then don't take more lash lifts or waxing clients, right? But if that is your bread and butter and that's how you want to grow your business, you have to have time for them to get in last minute. And you have to think about it as you're devoting time to building out the business versus wasting your time while you have big gaps in between appointments. There's a lot of negativity about gaps in our industry. And I've had actually a podcast about this before. And I think if you change your mentality on gaps, whether you're doing skincare or like waxing or whatever, and look at it as a gap is a time to do the business stuff that's hard to get done or can be like overwhelming to do, it can really change your time management and also your business. I actually loved gaps because I could get so much done. I could record a lot of content, did a stories at the time. I would make just a ton of posts. I could just get a lot of things done in my room, inventory, looking at things, update my website. I could get so much work done so that when I went home, I was done. Like there was no like lingering things to do. So if you have a business where you do hair removal, let's say you do waxing, and you also do, let's say, corrective skincare, let's say you do Procel, you need to have a mindset for both, which is really hard to do, especially if you're trying to grow both. But I usually don't recommend it. You would say like focus on one and then focus on the other. But usually hair removal is quick money and corrective skincare is retail money. So they both have their advantages, which I know why a lot of people offer both. But you have to think about it as, can people get in this week for hair removal multiple times this week? And are people understanding who I am and what I do and how I can help them with the corrective? And how I understand them. I also had acne scars, or I now have fine lines and wrinkles that kind of appeared out of nowhere in my late 30s. And it's been like really crazy for me. Like all those things, like how can I relate to that person who's looking for that corrective skincare, that's nervous about the time and money investment? And how do I have spots open for the person who wants the last minute brow wax or whatever it is you do, lash tint or something? Because if you are looking at it as, well, I only want to work 3 days a week and I'm going to do like 3 9-hour days, and you do hair removal, that may be why you're not making money. And if you're looking at it like, I hate marketing, but I need more clients, and I'm going to commit to this marketing plan for 2 months, and if I don't get new clients, it means it's not working. That's not going to work. And again, people are faster than others, but every person I know, every esthetician that I've worked with this year or worked with last year that are getting great numbers this year, market all the time. They're always on stories and posts. They do take breaks here and there for vacations and stuff. Don't get me wrong, but I closely follow my previous and current clients on Instagram so I can find their stuff easier. And I have a couple clients where I'm always like, their stuff. They're like, it's their post for 7 posts before I get to another client. And those are the clients that are hitting their goals this year because they understand how much nurturing a person who has acne or a person who wants Procel or a person who wants like corrective peels or whatever needs. And they need a lot of information. They need a lot of assurance. They need a lot of trust being built. They need a lot of getting to know you. They need that times a million, way more than you ever think they would need. Because it's a big time and money investment for them, and they want to make sure it will work for them and they will like you. And they usually aren't going to get that from 2 or 3 posts that were from 2 months ago, right? Okay, so to wrap up this episode, short sales cycles will get instant money, so you need to have availability to achieve that. It's hard to book unless you are established with hair removal and you book out and there's no one in. If you're looking for new clients, you have to have availability that people can grab. And like a 2 p.m. on a Thursday is not that. It needs to be like a 6 p.m. on a Thursday or a 2 p.m. on a Saturday, right? And also a Monday afternoon, because that's when people can come, right? Like, when are people coming to get hair removal? What's a good time for them? I don't know. You tell me. What, lunchtime after work, probably. If you're doing long sales cycle, corrective skincare, you need to think of them as sweet little babies that need a lot of nurturing. Well, first you need to make sure that they're following you. So that's the whole thing. Once they're following you, you need to make sure that they just see you every day, or at least 5 to 6 days a week for months on end, that they're like, oh my gosh, this person is for real. This person is going to actually help me with my acne scars. This person can finally help me with my pigmentation, my acne, or whatever. You just need to be constantly in their feed. So if you know these things and you're having a hard time doing it because you're afraid, there's something in your way mentally, that is what coaching is for. I will teach you these strategies as well as help you work through the mental blocks that are holding you back. I can't wait to talk to you more next week. Have a fantastic week. Bye for now.
Hey, if you like this podcast, please rate and review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to. I cannot tell you how much that helps my podcast grow. So you can click 5 stars if you like it and you want to give me 5 stars. And please leave a review about telling me why you like it so that I can help other estheticians grow their business. Thank you so much.